Welcome to this week's episode of the Voices Heard Lives Empowered podcast from POhWER. In this episode, my colleague Jordenn speaks with her father-in-law Mark. Mark is a 53-year-old gentleman who lives in Nottinghamshire with his wife Donna. Mark has a physical disability that has a profound impact on his daily life. He also suffers from anxiety and depression. During this episode, Mark is frank and open in talking about his disability, the care that he receives, and the impact that COVID-19 has had upon him and his family. Mark also talks about his hobby of gaming, which helps him to escape from the struggles that he has in his life. We hope you enjoy this episode.
Good afternoon, Mark, and thank you for joining us on today's podcast.
You're welcome.
Would you just like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
What would you like to know? The fact that I'm 53 years old and disabled?
Okay, so were you born with the disability?
No. About when I was 14, when I first started getting problems with my back,
Okay, so
it just gradually got worse.
So how has your life changed over the last few years with the condition in your back?
I'm now not able to do anything like physical.
Okay. So do you feel that you get enough support from people in relation to your disability with your back?
Not really. It's like you've forgotten about. They help you with it and then shove you in corner until you ask for help again.
Okay, so what support have you received so far?
Back in 2015, I think it was, somewhere around there. My wife, Donna, she got in touch with Adult Social Care through Nottinghamshire County Council, and they moved us into a bungalow because we were living in a 2-bedroom house and I couldn't get up the stairs. So basically I lived in the dining room downstairs.
Okay.
And they managed to get us a bungalow.
And you've received no other support from them? No care reviews?
No, I've never had a care review.
Never had a care review.
They have helped us out by they put us some like longer steps with handrails and everything up to the back door, and this is all through the council. They told the council to do it, and they've widened the bathroom door to my bedroom door so that we can get in and out with wheelchair. But that's it.
What more do you think could have been done to support you during this time?
If they actually contacted me and said to me, do you need any more help? Is there anything else we can do? But they don't. It's like once that job's done, once you've asked for that job and that job's done, that's it. It's like, right, bye. Till I ask again, that's it.
Okay, so you've got no allocated worker to help support you if needed?
That we thought we had, but then when we ring back, it's like, no, it's done now until you ask again. So I don't know how it works.
Have there been any external organisations other than Nottinghamshire County Council that have offered you support?
No, not at all.
Not at all. So you say your wife Donna is your main carer?
Yeah.
And
carer.
how does that make you feel, having your wife be a carer?
It's a bit of both worlds actually, because it's a lot easier with it being my wife, because obviously I'm not as embarrassed when it comes down to the embarrassing jobs that she'd need to do. But on the other hand, it makes me feel like I'm a job now, I'm not her husband.
So, in relation to the COVID-19 situation, how have you been bearing up with the lockdown and restrictions that have been put in place?
Not very good at house all the time. Because what I could do, I mean, don't get me wrong, I struggle with anxiety and depression and everything because of obviously not being able to do what I used to be able to do. I mean, stuck in, like, relying on other people all the time.
Yeah.
But when it comes to going out, before I struggled to get out anyway because of my anxiety. But now even what I could do has been took away because obviously I can't go out.
So is there anything that's making the current situation more bearable for you? What do you enjoy doing?
Mainly I'm on my computer all the time.
What are your favourite games?
Ark, mainly Ark,
Oh,
Survival Evolved, and then what we're now playing, 7 Days to Die.
I hear that you've got some good teammates on Ark and Survival
You're trying to
Evolved.
pick yourself up, like, you know. You're trying to make out that you're a good gamer now.
MLG, Mark, MLG, you know me.
You know what it is.
So, do you find that gaming makes the situation a little bit more bearable?
Yes, well, it's a different world, isn't it? Because it's online gaming. I tend to struggle then because if you're in it too long, you start to feel like you're real.
Yeah. What aspect of the gaming do you think helps you? Is it the communication with outside people or the escapism?
It's a bit of both, a bit of everything. Because like, there's people I wouldn't. I mean, I talk to you and whatever, but it's like I wouldn't normally get that unless we were constantly on phone together or
Yeah.
visitors or stuff like that. But there's that side of it, and there's also the side that I can do things on here that I can't physically do myself.
Okay. So in relation to the building and
Yeah.
not in relation to taming T-Rexes and Argentavises.
Well, I can do that in real life too.
So, other than your gaming, what helps you keep a positive mindset?
You know, I don't know. Why did you think I've got a positive mindset? I don't think I have, to be fair. But Donna's really good. I mean, she's all positive and protective and what have you. But it comes a time when you can't rely on the same person. So, I mean, she's my wife, she's going to say these things.
Yeah. Other than Donna, is there anybody that offers you emotional support?
Well, there's you. I'd say your other half, but nah. We'll not go into that one.
Supportive as a shoe.
Yeah. But now it's family, yeah, but they've got their own lives to lead, you know what I mean? You can't say, but what about me? Because they've got their lives, they've got children, they've got houses to run and everything. And it doesn't feel as important as everyday life, even though to me it is. It wouldn't be for them, and I understand that it wouldn't be for them because I know what it's like to run a house and kids, and so I know how much work they've got on.
So, are you saying that sometimes you feel like you can't talk to anybody because you don't want to put extra pressure on them?
Well, yeah, I don't like to ask for help because I should be able to handle it myself. But obviously you can't. But if you're asking people for help all the time, it's not. I don't like to. So then it gets too much.
Okay. And are those the times that things start to struggle a little bit?
Yeah.
So, when you're in those times, what helps? What techniques do you use to come out of them?
I don't really know, to be honest with you. I put some music on, get a piece of paper and start to draw, go into my own little world.
Okay.
See how I go from there.
Any particular brand of music that we like listening to?
Bits of everything. I like the 80s. I love the 80s music. Not really one type of music. Any music. As long as it's loud and in my headset.
So with the lifting of the restrictions, do you think for you personally that's going to have any sort of positive impact, like with the fact that the grandkids can now come and that family can now do the social distancing visits? Do you think that'll have an impact, or is that something that you think wouldn't really make much of a difference?
It will, because obviously I miss my grandkids, but my thing is I'm struggling mentally because I don't think it is over. I don't think you should be lifting restrictions yet.
Yeah.
I think there's more to come, and it's not going to be a little bit, it's going to be a lot.
Do you think the restrictions are being lifted too soon?
Way too soon.
You've been self-isolating as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
So
That's not fun.
you, your wife and son have been isolating because of the high risk factors, and how is that getting with the only sort of external conversation you were having was obviously through the gaming? Was that having any sort of detrimental effect on relationships because you were all closed in for...
Yeah, we got a bit, well, I got a bit snappy because obviously I feel like I'm causing the problems, but instead of it being, because even though I know it's me that's getting aggravated, you fire out at other people, even though I know it's me that's getting aggravated because I can't get out of this house and all that stuff, but to get out on them because it's the easiest thing to do. You don't blame yourself, do you?
No, we tend not to blame ourselves, do we? We're just very hard to admit that we're not always right.
Well, no, because I'm perfect.
Oh yeah, obviously. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think there's been a time on record when either of us have been wrong, so when it happens, I'm sure we'll admit it.
It's not very often I'm wrong, but I'm right again.
So through COVID, have you had any sort of support, like your water, when the water was cut off? Have you had any sort of priority?
Oh yeah, that was nice. Severn Trent dropped us off some crates of bottled water.
Okay.
So that was quite nice on them.
You know, with the carer hours that they've got in place for like your main supermarkets and everything, how do you feel? Do you feel that they work? That they're something that are accessible?
There's been times when, I mean, because Donna tried it. Donna tried to go out at the times when they said.
Yeah.
And she still ended up waiting for God knows how long. And no disrespect, but that's the time when she mainly has to do my bits and bobs, like in the morning. And it's like, well, how's that supposed to work?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, not for 1 minute am I saying that the NHS haven't. I mean, they definitely they've read in this situation, but it's not just them. There's other people as well, and it's like everybody else has forgotten.
Yeah. So the external professionals that you've had dealings with throughout your time when with your back, have you found them to be helpful? Have they always been approachable, or has dealing with them led to anxieties mainly through their approach with you?
Well, with the adult social care, they're brilliant. They can't do enough. You know what I mean? How they talk to you, everything's brilliant. You know what I mean? They know how you feel. That's how it feels when they're here. But like I said, once the job's done, they cut you loose.
Yeah.
But when I had my reassessment for my pit, no, that was bang out of order, because I get all tongue-tied and can't really think straight because of my drugs and because of my anxiety and everything. So everything all of a sudden comes, it's like everything's trying to happen all at once and I can't control anything. We had an assessor come and Donna tried to help me answer a question, and her exact words was, I'm speaking to him, not you, which I didn't find. So, I mean, don't do that.
Yeah.
She was doing, and she didn't say anything out of turn. She wasn't snappy or anything. But, and then obviously they reassessed my PIP and I didn't get what I should have got. Yet the chap that come this last time when I were reassessed, instantly they were like, well, why haven't you got the higher rate? And I'm like, well, they said I couldn't have it because I could make my way to the local shops on my mobility scooter. Whereas I'm thinking having a mobility scooter classes you as needing help.
You know, when it comes times to have your assessments of needs and everything, as the individual that's being assessed and having this done, how does that make you feel?
It makes you feel like you're under a microscope, basically.
Okay.
And you're made to feel like you're being tricked into answering questions wrong. Because even though obviously I've got problems, because obviously I'm on morphine and everything, so it affects your brain, you're bound to get some sort of effect.
Yeah.
But when they're trying to trick you, because I'm not stupid, I know when they ask you a question, and then they ask you a question in a different way, hoping that you answer it differently. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I understand the fact that they've got other people out there that are getting it when they shouldn't be getting it, but I don't mean everybody is, so you shouldn't be treating everybody with a blanket type. It's like they've got a certain way of asking things, and if you don't go that way, then they oh no, I can't do it because I've got to ask him this question next. It's like they ain't got a brain for themselves.
Okay. So you've not had pleasant experiences then?
Not really, no.
No.
I was told that I'd got to get a job, told that I'd got to go for a medical at Chesterfield, and there were 86 steps. If there was an emergency, would you be able to walk the 86 steps? No, obviously I can't, because I won't be able to get down those steps at all. Oh, well, we can't do your interview then. We'll have to wait until we can get a downstairs room. It's like you're made to feel like it's like your fault. It's my fault I'm ill. It's got to be my fault I'm ill. So that's how they make you feel.
What input have you had with your back over the years? So it started when you were 14, you fell over?
No, I stepped off for a curb and landed flat forward.
Okay.
Jarred me back and not been right since.
So what treatments have you had? Have any been remotely successful to offer any sort of relief?
I've had operations, I've had decompressions. They opened me up and did a fusion and found out that it was causing more pain because it was touching a nerve for my kidneys or something like that. So they took some on it out, or all on it out. I can't make my mind up because they said they can't see it no more. I've had all sorts of stuff. I've had a nerve block. That worked for about 4 years, but then it come back with a vengeance.
Okay.
Then last treatment I had was epidural, and that's how I've ended up where I've not been right since. I was better than what I am now before that, but obviously now I'm stuck. But it's not their fault. I mean, they did say that there was a chance it wouldn't work, and explained it all to me. So I took that chance. I was prepared to take that chance rather than sit being in pain.
Yeah.
That's obviously I'm still in pain, so it don't really make no difference.
So you're on quite a high dosage of pain relief daily.
Yeah.
How do you manage that medication? What effect do you think it has on you?
I don't manage it, Donna has to, because I forget that I've took it.
Okay.
Or I think I've not took it, so I take another one. So Donna has to manage my medication, and it's not, the feeling's not nice once you've took it. I don't like talking to people once I've had it because it's like I'm a zombie.
Does it help with the pain at all, or is the pain just constant?
Well, the pain's constant anyway. All it does is it makes you say you don't care about it.
Okay. So what techniques have you come to make that more bearable on a daily? Is there anything that you do when it's really bad that just eases it a little bit? Any like self-taught techniques?
Not really, other than sitting here playing on computer games or drawing.
Okay.
It's to just take your mind. You've got to find a way of taking your mind off it.
So have you tried any like therapies? Has any therapies been offered to you?
I was under the pain clinic quite good, to be fair. It gave me something to do, and I was getting out of house and going down there every Thursday, I think it was, whatever day it was. It was like you were there from a certain time. It gives you that bit of, I've got responsibility, I've got to be there at this time, and I've got to, you know what I mean? So instead of being stuck in house and not knowing what to do, it gave you that little bit of feeling like you were normal again.
Yeah.
But when it had all finished, it was still no different. I was still as bad as what I was, and there was a occupational therapist that was there, and she asked me if I wanted to carry on having treatment. I said, yeah, I don't mind, as long as it's trying to make me better, in a way. So we were doing, it was something to do with your mind.
Yeah.
Retraining your brain or something. And she basically turned around and said that there was nothing wrong with me, all in my mind. That didn't go down very well.
So how did that make you feel, to have your very real pain dismissed?
Me because it felt like people were saying I was lying.
And is that a common trend that you feel, that because obviously it's an invisible illness, as in you've not...
Yeah, I ain't got a pot on my leg, so I've definitely got no wrong with it. And that's how it feels. It feels like everybody thinks, oh, what's up with you, Mitchie? Because due to the fact that I can't get about, I've thyroid weight on.
Okay.
So I might need to go on diets, and I'm waiting to see if I can have an operation for a gastric band or whatever they're wanting to do. But it makes you feel like people are looking at you and saying, well, it's because he's fat. That's why he's in that wheelchair, it's because he's fat. That's how you feel. So you don't want to go out, because I don't want to feel like that.
And do you think that's linked to your social anxiety?
I'd say it is, yeah. I think, hey, everybody looks at you. Everybody. Whether they're looking at you and feeling sympathetic, or they're looking at me and thinking, get out road, you prick. You know what I mean? I don't know what they're thinking, but it's a constant, everybody's looking at you for some reason. I appreciate the people that are sitting there going, oh, don't, come on, you come through and all that stuff, but I don't want to be treated any different.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it don't mean I want to be stared at and called a cripple.
And have you experienced any detrimental impacts because of your condition?
We do all the shopping at Asda, and like the amount of times I've been in there and people are staring, and you can hear them touching when they're stuck behind me because they can't get by quick enough, because everybody's in a rush. This was before all lockdown business, but it gets you to the point where you don't want to go. So I've got to a point now where I'm like, I'll be alright here. So yeah, it hammers into you.
And you think that's taking away your independence, is the fact that people's, what you feel are judging?
Yeah, definitely.
Has there been any positive interactions or impacts?
I can't remember any, to be honest with you. There's that many bad, it just blanket. If there was, I'd have forgot it, because there's that many bad.
So, who would you say you mainly play with, me, Donna?
Mostly you, because Donna's busy.
And
when she's not busy, she comes on.
And you think that's good for building and forming our relationships and stuff?
Are we in a relationship?
There's something wrong if we were, wouldn't there?
Yeah.
We'd like to take this opportunity to thank Mark for coming on the podcast and sharing his story. If you enjoyed this episode and you would like to leave a review on iTunes, we'd be very grateful. You can also leave feedback on the POhWER website at www.pohwer.net. That's POhWER spelled POhWER.net. Thank you for listening.